Hi guys, so what I'd like to do today is talk to you about how your perceptions have an effect on your reality and also how we can change our perceptions to be able to change how we see the reality so it actually works for us. So usually we can get locked down in a problem or some kind of challenge happening in our life, whether it be our health, relationship, our careers, or just something very minor or something very big, but we get locked down by emotions, by limiting beliefs, and ultimately we get locked down by the very nature of being inside our own mind. Because inside our brain, in other words, we have filters. So we see the world, or we take in the world through our five senses, through our sight, our hearing, our smell, our taste, and our, did I say touch as well? So the five senses. And as we take that information in through our five senses, we then consider what that really means by filtering out information. So we could filter information in or out by our belief systems, our values, our personality types, our past. I mean, if we go through some form of trauma in the past or some bad events or even good events, it will make us see how or it will have an effect on how we see our future. And ultimately, the inner filters in our mind will allow us to see what we see subjectively, not objectively. So based really on our own perceptions. Now, as we're in our own perceptions, we can get locked down into certain problems. Now, I want to give you some crazy ideas that will allow you to think outside the box, get deep understanding and deep knowledge and wisdom, so you can get the solutions or the learnings that you need to break outside of the present problem you may be having. So rather being locked down and getting frustrated or feeling stuck, we're going to be able to look outside from other perceptions which will cause you, by the very nature of understanding the new perception, to see the world in a different light or to see the problem in a new way. So there's what we're going to be doing today, and I really like it because it's fun, it can be silly, it can be exciting, it can be really however you choose, because you're going to be actively involved in this. I mean, you're always actively involved, but you can even choose how you'd like to perceive things in a whole new way. So let's just say you have an issue, and if you can bring that to your mind, consider how you presently see that problem in your mind, because you're going to have some symbolic relationship to it. You may see it actually, how you see that situation visually. You might have a feeling attached to it. You might have a certain mindset or thought about that present challenge or obstacle or block or conflict right now, or even a certain psychological or an emotional issue that you'd like to get that learning on. Now, as you consider that, I want you to go a little bit wonderful and crazy and consider, and here's a real thing, consider stepping outside of you for a moment. And as you step outside of you, imagine stepping outside of you and going into the you of the future. That's right, the you of the future, where this problem no longer exists, where you've overcome it. So let's just say 5 years from now, or maybe a year from now, looking through the eyes of you from a year from now, how do you see that problem, having got over it already? And just notice, what kind of insights would you get? What kind of learnings would you get? What kind of thoughts or ideas as you look through the eyes of you of the future, having got over the problem already and having made that change? What insight would you give to this present you? What kind of knowledge and wisdom would you give this present you right now? And consider that. Doesn't matter really what comes up at the moment. Ask that you, well, what does this you can learn having let go of it already in the future? And notice that insight and knowledge coming to you. It may be a little bit tricky at first, so just allow that to happen. Now, as you consider that, now you can take more time, but for the benefit of this audio and video, we're going to move on to a new perception. Now, imagine going back to when you're a child. So before any limiting beliefs or any adult thoughts or how we should be in society, all those types of things, go into the you as like looking through the eyes of this wonderful, curious child. And how would this playful you, this curious you, give you that knowledge and insight? How would that wonderful you see that issue or that challenge? And what insight or learnings would they give to you? And as you just consider that, have fun with it. I mean, even look through, if it's easy, look through the eyes of just an innocent child and see how they experience it. Maybe it could be a, if you're an uncle or an aunt, how does it be to look through the eyes of your nephew or a real just young innocent child, and just see what kind of playful thoughts they would come up with as they consider that issue. Now, as you do that, consider, and this is where it gets really fun, consider maybe looking through the eyes of, let's say, your pet. How would your pet see this present issue? How would this pet of yours, maybe it's a dog or a cat, or it could be a goldfish for all I know. If you haven't got one, just to choose an animal and consider how that animal or your pet see the issue. What kind of knowledge and wisdom would they give you? And that's where it gets really fun and exciting. And it sounds silly, I know, but let's have fun with this. Let's see how wonderful we can go, and the type of insights that you can get by looking through the eyes of your pet. What wonderful insight would they give you as you consider looking through the eyes of them? And as they have that thought about that issue, notice what happens. That's right. And you might get a new thought or idea. Now consider, think of someone who you greatly admire. So it could be like, it could be someone past or present. It could be, say, like Martin Luther King. It could be a wonderful entrepreneur. It could be a self-help person. It could even be looking through someone completely different who you just admire, and look through the eyes of them and ask them, what can they learn from this? I mean, how would they speak to you as they consider this challenge? What advice would they give you? And just consider what would happen. Just think about it. What kind of thoughts, as you step inside them, looking through their own eyes and their own experience, how would they see this challenge? What advice would they give you? And now you can do that with someone else who is maybe inspirational to you. You could do it for absolutely anyone. I mean, let's have fun. I'm not saying inspirational anyway, but imagine maybe looking through my eyes, and what would I say to you? Looking through your eyes at this challenge, what knowledge or wisdom, if I have any, would I give you on that problem or challenge? And just notice what happens. Now you can do that for many different types of people. People who you admire, people in the future, the past, and let's go even crazier. Now let's consider if there wasn't like this enlightened alien, okay? This enlightened alien from a different, obviously a different planet. Now consider looking through the eyes of an alien and how they'd see this challenge. How they see the challenge. How big would it be? How small would it be? What knowledge and information would they give you? Sounds silly, I know. I told you it was a silly, funny, ridiculous process, but it gives you insight, you see. New perceptions, new learnings. So just consider what that wonderful, crazy alien would actually say to you. And then let's go for another one. I mean, whether you're religious or not, maybe look through the eyes of Buddha or God or whatever belief system that you have, or whatever your religious perception is. Look through the eyes there and notice what knowledge and wisdom would you get. How would that person, I mean, it could be literally anything really. Like I said, it could be an animal, it could be a sibling, it could be someone who you admire, it could be someone religious, it could be someone famous. Consider looking through their own eyes and notice how they see the problem and what solutions could they give you. And that's where it gets really fun, because you're breaking outside of your own lockdown perception and you're considering it from different viewpoints. I mean, even imagine, for example, the Earth. What would the world say to you? Like the Earth itself, what would the Earth say to you when you think about this issue? Consider it in any way. I like to just cycle through this, especially people who I admire. If I'm like kind of stuck, I think, okay, I'm going to choose 4 or 5 people who I really admire. And I'm going to imagine stepping and looking through their own eyes and see what they would see when they think of this challenge that I'm presently having. What knowledge and advice would I give myself looking through the eyes of that person who I admire? So you can do it any way that you want, but it will allow you to really break through and break free of your locked down perception. And you'll tap into something very, very powerful, very creative. and it will give you that knowledge and insight that you need. I think it's a real wonderful, playful process. You can take it as serious as you like, but either way, the more you have fun with it, the more enlightened you become about that problem or challenge that you're presently having. And it causes your unconscious mind to see things differently, and therefore get new learnings. Now, if you've been listening to my work, learnings let go of issues. Learnings keep us safe. Learnings allow us to grow as a person. So by changing your perception, you change and get the learning. So therefore that issue, yes, it could still be a problem. I'm not saying it's going to let go of depression or fears or phobias. It could do. I really believe that. However, it will loosen the situation and allow you to deal with it effectively and easily in the future. So I hope you really enjoyed that, and I really look forward to seeing you soon, speaking to you soon. If you're listening to this on my audio or on my apps on YouTube, leave a comment on my videos on YouTube. If you're watching them right now, it's youtube.com/JosephCloughHypnosis. So youtube.com/JosephCloughHypnosis. If you're listening to my apps on like the Android, Windows Phone, BlackBerry, or the iPhone or iPad, go ahead and please leave a review. I mean, just today, I looked at my stats for yesterday. It had 10,000 free downloads. So 10,000 people, or at least 10,000 downloads, were taken from my mobile devices. So that's absolutely awesome. So thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. It's really here for you. Really take as much information. Please send it and share it to all those who you feel could do with some free self-development. I'm here to support you in every way. So have a wonderful day, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Many thanks and goodbye.